She folded the pancake carefully, like she was smuggling contraband. 7 years old, hands too small to wrap it neatly, but steady with fear. I asked the question without thinking, why not eat it all? Her eyes darted, wide and uncertain. I need to save some for dinner. Her voice cracked on the word dinner. I smiled, tried to ease it. I'll make dinner too. She froze. Her fork slipped against the plate. And then, her whisper, so soft it almost vanished beneath the hum of the fridge. Isn't it 1 meal a day? Mom only lets me eat breakfast. Something inside me stopped, like glass cracking in silence. Her words were not childish confusion. They carried weight, a truth rehearsed. I wanted to deny it, laugh it off, tell her she misunderstood. But her eyes, God, her eyes were rehearsed too. I reached across the table, but she recoiled, clutching that folded pancake like it was currency she couldn't afford to lose. I sat back. My pulse was steady, my mind was not. And in that moment, with syrup cooling on my plate, I knew something was very, very wrong with my sister-in-law. I replayed the moment for hours, her whisper, the look, that folded pancake like a secret message. When my wife called from the hospital to check in, I told her everything was fine. My voice was calm, even cheerful. I didn't mention the pancake, or the rule, or the way her niece's stomach growled when she thought I wasn't listening. Because this wasn't about food, not really. It was about control. My sister-in-law had always been precise. A strict mother, people said. Structured. She's disciplined, my wife defended her once, when I questioned why the little girl's arms were so thin, her smiles so rare. But discipline doesn't starve a child. Discipline doesn't make her believe she only deserves 1 meal a day. I should have felt rage then. Instead, I felt something colder, something sharper. A suspicion that this wasn't negligence, it was intention. I studied the girl that evening as she colored at the kitchen table. She hid her drawings when I walked too close. Her hands shook slightly. Fear was her natural state. I didn't tell her to eat more, didn't force kindness, I just watched. And with every silent hour, the pieces shifted into place. This wasn't my house, not my daughter, but it was my blood who trusted me now, and silence was no longer an option. I began collecting details the way one collects evidence in a trial. Quiet, methodical, her school bag, light, too light, no lunch containers inside, the trash bin, empty of dinner scraps, the fridge, bare, save for milk and butter. And then her body, ribs visible when she reached up for a cup, fingertips bruised, as if she'd pressed them too hard against something she wasn't meant to touch. At night, while she slept curled on the couch beside me, I scrolled through her mother's messages on the family group chat. Jokes, smiles, photos with perfect filters. A woman who looked like control itself. But I wanted proof, not impressions. So I asked the niece, gently, "What happens if you eat more?" Her face hardened with something I shouldn't see in a child. She says I'll get fat. She says fat girls don't get loved. The words landed like blades. Not against me, against her. This little creature who carried them in her chest. I didn't respond. I didn't soothe. I just memorized. Every phrase, every shadow, every bruise. Because when the time came, I wanted no denial, no escape. I wanted the truth to hang her with her own rope. The pediatrician didn't even need blood tests. One look at the girl's weight, her pale skin, her brittle hair, he gave me the word: malnourished. He spoke carefully, as if preparing me for grief. He didn't know I was already past grief. When my sister-in-law returned from the hospital, I handed her the paper. Clinical words, black on white. She skimmed it, smirked. "You overreacted. She's just small." I watched her, waited, said nothing. The silence stretched, heavy as chains. Her smirk faltered. "What? You don't actually believe?" I tilted my head, slow, controlled, and for the first time, she looked nervous. I didn't scream, didn't accuse. I simply called the girl from the hallway. She padded in, holding her drawing, a pancake, folded neatly in a napkin, drawn in crayon. "Show her," I said. The girl hesitated, then held it out. Her voice small, but steady. "This is how I save food for dinner." The color drained from her mother's face. I didn't need to say another word. The child's testimony was enough. The paper from the doctor, enough. My silence, most of all, enough. She tried to speak, excuses, explanations, but I turned my back, guided the girl to her room. The sound of her breaking behind me was almost satisfying. Almost. I stayed in that house one more night, cooked her dinner, watched her eat without fear. In the morning, I packed her things, took her with me. Her mother didn't fight. Not really. She already knew she'd lost. Driving away, the girl fell asleep in the seat beside me, crumbs still on her lips. I didn't feel heroic, not even kind. I felt empty. But emptiness can be a kind of clarity. Some betrayals scream. Some whisper through folded pancakes at a breakfast table. And once you hear it, you never forgive. She starved her child of food. I starved her of control.